Have you ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night, not just once, but maybe 3 or 4 times, just to use the bathroom? You turn on the light, shuffle to the toilet, try not to trip over your slippers, and by the time you make it back to bed, you're wide awake again. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, wondering why your body won't let you sleep through the night like it used to. And maybe you've brushed it off. Just getting older, you tell yourself. Nothing to worry about. But let me ask you something. What if that little inconvenience is actually a big red flag your body's been waving for months, maybe even years? What if this nighttime routine you've grown used to, this habit you've accepted as normal, is slowly, silently, enlarging your prostate and affecting your health in ways you don't even realize yet? Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to open your eyes. Because as a prostate doctor, I've seen this play out too many times. Seniors who ignore the signs, men who delay a checkup, people who think they're just handling it, when in reality, they're letting a quiet problem grow louder. I want you to really think about this. How many times have you dismissed something your body was trying to tell you, because you thought it was just part of getting older? You're not alone. It happens all the time. But that's exactly why we're having this conversation today. Because the truth is, one single habit, something so ordinary you might be doing it every day without a second thought, could be contributing to prostate enlargement. In this video, we're going to talk about what that habit is, why it's so dangerous, and what you can do, starting today, to stop it from harming you any further. We'll also go over the warning signs to watch out for, a few practical changes you can make right at home, and a myth about prostate health that's causing more harm than good. So, stick with me, especially if you or someone you care about is dealing with frequent urination, discomfort, or sleep troubles. Because by the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to protect yourself, and maybe even extend the quality of your life in ways you didn't think were possible. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you to do one small thing. Comment, "I'm here," if prostate health is something you've ever been curious about, or concerned about. And if you care about aging with strength, dignity, and peace of mind, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, where we talk about the stuff no one else is talking about, in a way that actually makes sense. Alright. Let's get into it. The habit might surprise you. But once you know, you'll never look at your daily routine the same way again. Let me introduce you to Harold. Harold is 71. Spent most of his life working in retail. Long hours on his feet, busy store floors, always putting others before himself. And like a lot of men from his generation, he had this belief, that stopping for a bathroom break during work was a sign of weakness. So, he didn't. He trained his body to hold it in. Hour after hour. Shift after shift. Day after day. Fast forward to now, Harold's retired. He should be enjoying peaceful, uninterrupted nights. But instead, he's waking up 5, sometimes 6 times a night. Not from noise, not from pain, but from the urge to go. And when he finally does fall back asleep, it's not restful. It's broken. Shallow. Frustrating. Now here's the part most folks don't realize. Holding in your urine too long, especially over and over, for years, doesn't just affect your bladder. It puts constant pressure on your prostate. That pressure leads to irritation, and over time, that irritation can lead to inflammation. And when the prostate becomes inflamed, it starts to swell. Little by little, that swelling can turn into enlargement. And that's when the symptoms kick in. Frequent urination. Interrupted sleep. Difficulty starting your stream, or feeling like you didn't fully empty your bladder. Now here's the twist, and it's where most people get it wrong. They think going to the bathroom too much is the problem. But for many men, the real problem starts when they don't go enough. By holding it in, they're training their bladder to stretch, to hold more than it should, and they're placing unnecessary strain on a gland that's already sensitive with age. You might be doing the same thing without realizing it. Maybe during a long drive. Or while watching a TV show. Or even at night, lying in bed, telling yourself, "I'll just wait till morning." But here's the truth, your prostate doesn't care what's convenient. It responds to pressure. And when that pressure becomes constant, the consequences follow. So, what can you do? Start small. Make it a habit to use the restroom every 2 to 3 hours, even if the urge isn't strong. Give your bladder a break. Give your prostate room to breathe. You're not being weak. You're being wise. And your body will thank you for it. Now, Harold's story isn't unusual. But there's another habit that's just as common, and it often goes unnoticed for years. It's subtle, but just as harmful. Now let me tell you about Jim. Jim's a retired high school teacher. Spent decades standing in front of classrooms, guiding young minds, breaking up hallway scuffles, scribbling lesson plans on chalkboards. But now? He's earned his rest. He spends most of his days in his favorite recliner, the one near the window, watching old westerns and sipping tea. To him, it's peace. He's not working, not rushing anywhere, not lifting heavy things or climbing stairs. And sure, that sounds like the calm retirement most folks dream of. But here's the catch. Jim barely moves. He sits for hours. In the morning, through the afternoon, sometimes until it's time for bed. And slowly, without even noticing, Jim started having problems. More bathroom visits. That nagging discomfort down low. He couldn't quite explain it, but something felt off. You see, when we sit for long stretches, especially in soft, cushioned chairs, we're putting pressure on the pelvic area. And that includes the prostate. The blood flow that keeps everything nourished and functioning. It slows down. The lymphatic drainage that clears inflammation. That gets sluggish too. It's like a traffic jam in your lower body, and your prostate is caught in the middle. Over time, that restricted blood flow can lead to inflammation. And that inflammation? It invites fluid buildup, swelling, and yes, prostate enlargement. Now, here's the common misunderstanding. People think rest equals health. They believe, I'm not overexerting myself, so I must be fine. But the truth is, stillness can be just as harmful as strain. Because the human body, especially as we age, was built to move. It doesn't have to be a workout. You don't need to run laps or lift weights. But every 30 to 45 minutes, you should get up. Walk around the room. Stretch your legs. Roll your hips a little. Even gentle movements help reset your circulation and ease pressure on the prostate. If you can stand and sway side to side while brushing your teeth, that's a win. If you can walk to the kitchen and back between TV shows, even better. These little acts, they add up. And for people like Jim, who never thought sitting could cause harm, these small changes can make a world of difference. Now, that's 2 habits, holding it in, and sitting too long. Both subtle. Both common. But neither should be ignored. But what if I told you the next trigger might be waiting for you in your morning routine? Yep, something as ordinary as how you start your day could be sending the wrong signal to your prostate. Now let me introduce you to Tom. Tom's the kind of guy who's up at sunrise, rain or shine. By 6:30, the coffee's brewing. By 10 a.m., he's already had 3 cups, sometimes 4, depending on the day. To him, coffee isn't just a drink. It's a ritual. It wakes him up, gives him that little jolt of energy, and makes the mornings feel complete. But lately, things have changed. Tom's been noticing some discomfort down there. A sudden urgency to pee, not just once or twice, but more often than he'd like. Sometimes it comes on so quickly, he barely makes it to the bathroom. And at night? He's tossing and turning, waking up with that same annoying urge. At first, he thought it was just age. But what Tom didn't realize is that his beloved morning coffee might be playing a bigger role than he ever imagined. Here's why: caffeine is both a diuretic and a bladder irritant. That means it makes you urinate more, sure, but it also irritates the delicate lining of the bladder and the prostate. And when that irritation builds up, swelling, inflammation, pressure, that's a recipe for prostate trouble. Now, here's where it gets tricky, and where many seniors, including Tom, make a well-meaning mistake. They switch to decaf, thinking it's safe. But what most folks don't realize is, even decaf still has caffeine. Not as much, sure, but enough to trigger sensitivity in prostates that are already inflamed or enlarged. So, what can you do if you love your morning cup? You don't have to quit. Cut back slowly. Start by swapping out every other cup with herbal tea, like chamomile or rooibos, or just warm water with a slice of lemon. Stay hydrated, but keep it gentle on the system. And here's the beauty of it: when men like Tom make that change, the difference is often clear. Fewer bathroom trips. More restful sleep. And a calmer, more cooperative bladder. Remember, it's not about giving up what you love. It's about listening to your body, and finding balance. But caffeine isn't the only sneaky culprit hiding in plain sight. There's another habit. One that flies under the radar because it's not physical at all. It's tied to how you manage something we all face, especially in our later years. Let's talk about stress, and how it quietly affects your prostate health. Now let me tell you about Barbara. She's a caregiver at heart, always has been. And for years, she noticed a pattern in her husband that most folks would miss. Every time the holidays rolled around, or when the bills piled up, or even after a family gathering that was more draining than joyful, he'd start having more urinary issues. More trips to the bathroom. That look of discomfort in his eyes. The kind of frustration no one really talks about. At first, she thought it was just coincidence. But the more she paid attention, the clearer it became. Stress was triggering his flare-ups. See, most people don't think about how stress, something that feels purely emotional, can physically affect the body. But the truth is, your body doesn't just feel stress. It reacts to it. Here's what's happening under the surface. When you're stressed, your body enters a kind of defense mode. Your muscles tighten. Your breath shortens. Your blood vessels constrict. And inflammation quietly begins to rise, not just in your joints or your back, but in your prostate, too. On top of that, stress can cause your pelvic floor muscles, the ones surrounding your bladder and prostate, to tense up without you even knowing. And when those muscles stay tight for too long, urination becomes harder, more frequent, more uncomfortable. Now, here's where many people go wrong: they treat the symptom, but not the cause. They take more trips to the bathroom, try different medications, maybe cut back on water. But the tension? The stress? It stays trapped in the body. The good news? There are ways to gently release it. Start with something as simple as deep breathing, just 5 slow breaths in the morning. Inhale through your nose, hold it, exhale slowly through your mouth. Let the muscles around your belly soften. Or try a short walk in the early sun. Even 10 minutes of gentle movement outdoors can help reset your nervous system. Some folks find comfort in gentle yoga or stretching, not to twist themselves into pretzels, but to release the stiffness that hides in the hips and lower back. That's where a lot of tension builds up, especially in men. Because here's the truth: you can't always control life's stressors. But you can control how your body holds on to them. And for your prostate, that matters more than you think. Now we've looked at 4 habits, all quiet, all common, and all powerful. But there's still one more. And it's a tricky one. Because it seems healthy at first. In fact, many people even do it in the name of wellness. But this last habit? It may be the most misleading of them all. Let's take a closer look. Now let's talk about James. He's always been the kind of guy who takes charge of his own health. Reads a lot. Watches health documentaries. So when he came across an article online about saw palmetto, a natural supplement claiming to support prostate health, he was all in. He bought a big bottle from the local health store. Started taking it every day. Then he upped the dose, thinking, if one pill's good, two must be better. No big deal, right? It's natural. But after a few weeks, James started noticing some odd symptoms. His stomach felt unsettled. He was more bloated than usual. Still waking up several times a night to pee, and now, he had a new problem, no real improvement in his symptoms, and a gut that just didn't feel right. Here's what happened: while supplements like saw palmetto, pygeum, or beta-sitosterol can help some men, they're not one size fits all. And they're not harmless just because they're natural. Many over-the-counter prostate supplements can interfere with your medications, affect hormone levels, and irritate the prostate if taken in excess. And that's the part folks like James often don't hear. Because when something is labeled as plant-based or herbal, we tend to drop our guard. We assume it's not a drug, it's safe. But the truth is, natural doesn't always mean gentle. And too much of a good thing can quickly become a bad thing. Especially when your body's already managing blood pressure meds, blood thinners, or other chronic conditions. Here's the simple fix that many overlook: talk to your doctor. Before you start any new supplement, check in with your healthcare provider. Ask, will this interact with my current medications? Is this safe for someone with my health history? What dose is appropriate, if any? You'd be surprised how often these conversations can prevent unnecessary discomfort. And even serious complications. Supplements can be part of a healthy routine, but only with proper guidance. So now, you've seen 5 everyday habits. 5 things that don't look dangerous on the surface, but slowly, quietly, put pressure on your prostate. And now that you know them, you're in a position most people never get to: you can make a change. Let's take a moment to reflect, not just on the habits, but on what they really mean. For your health, your comfort, and your peace of mind. I know it's not easy to hear all this. Especially when the habits we've talked about today, they're not extreme. They're not what you'd call dangerous. They're just everyday things. Waking up to pee. Sitting in your favorite chair a little longer than you meant to. Pouring one more cup of coffee because it feels comforting. Taking a supplement because you want to do the right thing. None of these feel like mistakes. And that's what makes them so tricky. But I want you to know something right now. Being aware doesn't mean being afraid. It means you're in control. Because once you know what's quietly affecting your body, you can start choosing what helps you, and what doesn't. No fear. No guilt. Just small, steady shifts in how you care for yourself. You don't have to fear prostate issues. You don't have to wait until you're waking up 6 times a night. Or feeling constant pressure down there. Or wondering why things feel different than they used to. You can prepare. You can take action that's gentle, intentional, and grounded in love, not panic. So, here's my encouragement to you today: do one small thing. Just one. Maybe that's getting up and walking for a few minutes after this video. Maybe it's looking at your coffee intake with fresh eyes. Maybe it's writing down your questions to bring to your next doctor's appointment. Whatever it is, let it be something that honors your body. That respects your age, your wisdom, and your right to feel good. Because I promise you, you are not alone in this journey. Millions of seniors, just like you, are navigating the same questions. The same late-night wake-ups. The same quiet worries they don't always talk about. But with small changes, changes you control, you can feel better. You can rest better. You can live better. And that, my friend, is what this journey is all about. Not perfection, but peace. Let's take a moment to go back over what we've uncovered together today. 5 simple habits. 5 little things that might seem harmless, but over time, can quietly lead to an enlarged prostate and all the discomfort that comes with it. Number 1, holding in your urine for too long. It may seem like a sign of strength, but it puts unnecessary pressure on your prostate. Number 2, sitting for hours without a break. Even when it feels like rest, the lack of movement can slow blood flow and stir up inflammation. Number 3, caffeine overload. Especially coffee. That go-to-comfort drink may be irritating your bladder and prostate more than you realize. Number 4, chronic stress. Emotional strain affects more than your mind. It tightens muscles, ramps up inflammation, and quietly burdens your pelvic health. And number 5, taking supplements without guidance. Even natural remedies, if misused, can cause more harm than healing. These aren't scary, dramatic things. They're everyday choices. And that's exactly why it's so important to notice them. So, I want to ask you. Have you seen any of these habits in your daily routine? Or maybe in someone close to you? Take a moment and share in the comments. Your story, your honesty, could be exactly what someone else needs to feel seen, to feel understood, and to take their own first step toward better health. And if this video helped you, even just one part of it, I invite you to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This is a space for real talk, for clarity, and for care. For seniors who want to feel empowered, not overwhelmed. For families who want to support each other with love, not guesswork. We've got more to explore together. More gentle truths. More practical steps. More reminders that aging doesn't mean surrendering your health, it means learning to care for it with wisdom. Thank you for spending this time with me today. It means more than you know. Stay strong. Stay proactive. And I'll see you in the next video.